Hey guys, welcome to my second channel. I'm not for sure how long you guys have been with me on this channel. I know sometimes, I post like crazy, then I don't. Well, anyway, thank you for sticking around if you're new. Hi. So basically, sometimes when I have a story to share that I don't think is worthy for my main channel, I still want to tell it. I insert it into this channel, so it's like a little mini story time. This is a story about creepy construction workers. And I definitely don't want to pose hate on them because I know they're just trying to do their job, just trying to work hard. But I have like a real story to tell. And then also my friend had an incident and I kind of want to share that because I'm also thinking, how common is it for these creepy construction worker stories to happen to other people? Okay, jumping into my first story, I do want to disclaim that this is just not me getting like annoyed with construction workers because I respect their art, I respect their hustle. However, I feel like there's a lot of people who just don't understand you don't do that. And it's already nerve-wracking enough that you're trusting somebody in your home and sometimes you're home alone. And it's just, don't be creepy. So first off, just kind of as a side thing that I just wanted to share because it's so funny, is that like mom and I had a lot of times workers come in without a contractor involved. I mean, she would talk to one person and he'd be really confident with his work. He'd have pictures. And I guess he served as like the construction project manager and he'd always talk about his team. Well, his team often was family members. And like where we got bamboozled the most probably was painters. My mom and I kind of have an inside joke, like, are you a painter or are you a self-proclaimed painter? You know, it's kind of like if you ever saw like the story time videos of my former roommate that I didn't get along with. Oh my gosh, she was so funny because like the joke of like Instagram models. Well, she wasn't an Instagram model, but she put in her caption on Instagram modeling. So it's like, are you a model? Or are you a self-proclaimed model? So most of the time they were just self-proclaimed. This team that would come in would often be family members, some of them like too young or too old to be doing the work. One of the guys, like dad, was part of it, and he was 86 years old, talking real loud on the phone, not paying attention, but I also don't think you could physically see the dripping paint. And so that was frustrating because then it would dry that way, then they'd have to fix it. But then they would also be like, oh no, I don't see that. Oh, it just got to be exhausting. If only we had a contractor involved instead of this weird self-proclaimed construction project manager, and maybe it would have like worked out. Back to what the story I want to tell you is we had one guy who was so religious, like pretty much identical to being just any typical pushy church member. Not fun, like it's not fun dealing with that, especially when, first off, my mom, she's religious, but she's not like super practicing. And then there's me who's spiritual. And so there's nothing that annoys me more than like some type of pushy church member trying to like shove their religion down my throat. So it honestly like turns me away from it. So in fact, like he didn't help his cause by doing all the stuff he did. So he apparently had gone to jail. And then he kind of like had an epiphany, a realization, and started a relationship with God. And he decided, I don't want to live my life like this. And it was a touching story. I respected it, was cool. But then like every conversation was about that. And he kept saying like I feel this urge that I need to pray for you. And it was just, it just got old super fast because I wasn't really in the mood of being prayed for. Like my mom would walk in the room and his hand would be on my head praying for me and like thank you, like, thanks. So, and then he knew that I got baptized, but I guess because I had like currently lost my way, there was like pressure to be baptized again, rebaptized. I think people do that. To me, I'm glad I did the tradition of being baptized, but I actually don't believe in the concept that you can sin here, sin there, then you get baptized, and then you're like, my sins are washed away. I don't believe that. Like nobody's forgetting these things because I dunked myself in water. So again, like the tradition, but the concept of it, like, come on, I don't need to do this again. But I mean, kept going back and forth with all this. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it was really getting to him. And my pushback was just encouraging him to push forward with getting me like prayed for. So, but then this is where it got like even creepier, is that there were certain things he said that were like, not very Christian and kind of like, why are you in my house? So, you know, he was talking about how his wife was an anti-vaxxer. She didn't believe in that. And he was kind of confused because he's hearing information from her, but then he's hearing like, you know, this big push, like vaccinate your kids. And so right now his kids were not vaccinated, and he had asked about it, and like, of course we're like, vaccinate your kid. It's common sense. Like, then he goes on to make the comment, I love my wife, but if she's the reason for anything happening to my kids, I'm not for sure if I'd be able to control myself. Later on, my mom and I asked each other about that, and we were thinking the same thing. Like, it sounded so creepy, like he was gonna kill his wife. So that's the story I had, and then I want to share with you what my friend experienced. They had some construction workers laying floor down. They were there day in and day out, and you know, she met them, but my friend likes to be in her room. She closes the door, whatever. But one day she's in her room and she's on Facebook and like pops a friend request. And one of the construction workers friended her on Facebook while they were in the house. She was so creeped out, and her mom was so torn because they ended up being really good workers. So yeah, I know the mom ended up talking to them. I'm not for sure how that went down, but that would also kind of creep me out too. But I don't think they sent her a message. That could have been way worse if it followed along with like not just a Facebook poke, but like, hey, you know. So those are the two stories I have. I don't know which one is worse. I'll let you guys fight it out in the comments. But if you guys have your own like creepy stories that have to do with construction workers, feel free to leave it down below, because I'm always down to read a good story time. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to join the fam bam. Bam, bam, bam. I also have a main channel where I post way more, and I hope you guys have a great day. Oh, yes, love you. Mean it. Bye.